Hi everyone. It's time to start painting the second color chart. So page 2 of the dot sampler by Daniel Smith, and I'm going to do that in just a minute. But I wanted to show you the color chart I made yesterday with all the yellows and the reds and the pinks and the violets. I wanted to show you. Again, I have to use lamplight because the weather outside is not very bright, so you know, I can't show them exactly as they are. But what you can see from this angle is that the colors are, even when they're dried up, they're very intense. They really do remind me of the Schminke colors that I have. Another brand that has such fantastic intense colors is Old Holland. I don't know if it's very widely available in the United States. It's not very widely available in the Netherlands, but you know, it's quite comparable in color intensity. There are a few colors that are much paler, not very intense, but still they do have their qualities. And well, I really like this paint. When the paint is wet, it's even more flashy, more electrically bright. But once it's dry, you can very well see differences in color. Although still, but that's very normal when you are working with artist grade watercolor paint, because there are so many paints and so many colors in this range. That differences are only minute. So let's say, for instance, you are doubting between Hansa Yellow and the new Gamboge, which on paper look almost alike, very much alike in the darkest areas. Then what you would have to do if you were doubting between the two is go to the Daniel Smith website and try to find out more about the pigments. And also, if you do order the dot sample chart, that you start mixing both of these colors with other colors you would like to mix it with, so you can see how they behave. That's when you get down to artist quality paints. It's no longer just about, a little while ago I did a review about a Pebeo watercolor which was incredibly bad. You know, then you can say, well, this is bad paint. But in this case, when you get to these regions of the most expensive brands, then you begin to speak about, you know, very minute differences and preferences in color and in availability and the way they work with the pigments and everything. So then it starts becoming important to get to know a little bit about the pigments you're working with. So, but I have to say that for a color chart this big, I actually see very few paints that look alike. There's just a Hansa Yellow Deep and the new Gamboge that I am still doubting a little bit whether they didn't accidentally put the same dot of paint on both places on the chart. But let's assume that they just really do look alike very much, which is of course possible. Then we would have to find out the difference by testing them in mixing them and diluting them and everything. Very fine colors indeed, and I have already written down a wish list. And I haven't even begun working on the second color chart, which is what I'm going to do now. Going to do the same as yesterday. I'll zoom in a little bit further, a little bit further, a little bit further, so you can actually see what I'm doing. Oh. So again, I just made this, I just drew these rectangles. I wrote the color numbers and the name in it, so that we can always look back to see which colors I actually used. Using the same brush, same brand of paper, you know, everything else the same. And here we go. So we're starting with Amethyst Genuine. came off really well. So Amethyst Genuine suggests to me that it would be ground amethyst, which is interesting. It does indeed look like amethyst. It's sort of the cold kind of purple. It's not a very intense color, but I do like it. Carbazole Violet. The name, Carbazole Violet. It sounds very chemical. Wow. Oh, that's a very intensive purple. Look. Oops. Speaking of deep purple, look how deep this purple is. Gorgeous. Gorgeous purple. That just also when you dilute it with water in the lighter areas, it's still very deep purple. Beautiful. Cobalt Blue Violet. Cobalt Blue Violet. It's a pretty color as well. It's not as deep as the other one, but cobalt, I think, very rarely is a deep color. One of the first things I learned about paint was even before I started painting myself, was that cobalt was a very expensive pigment, and I've always assumed it had to be the prettiest of all. But I've often found it a letdown, you know, when I had this whole box of paints, that the cobalts were usually not very intense. Moonglow, this is a paint I've heard and read about. Moonglow. It's like a night sky. Look, it's the same color as my sweater. I'm wearing this incredibly comfy sweater today. The not so posh the not so posh outfit for some serious desk work. So, Moonglow is the color of my sweater. It's a beautiful color. It's a really warm, it's a beautiful warm color. We're moving on to Shadow Violet. Oh, that doesn't come off very easily. This looks like a grey. See? This is what you would get if you were to mix violet and black together. Therefore, it's not a colour I would buy, unless, of course, I was going to use this a lot for, well, let's say nighttime landscape pictures. And if you want to have a consistency in the painting, then it would come in handy to buy a tube of paint in this colour. It's beautiful though. It's it granulates, and I love that. I love how you can see particles of pigment sink into the paper, granulating. The Moonglow granulates as well, but not as much as the Shadow Violet does. So that would really make it interesting for me to buy it anyway. My first response was, oh no, this is not a colour I would buy. But, you know, a few seconds later, I'm looking at it again. I think, oh wow, this granulation is fabulous. I would definitely buy this. Yes, oh boy, my wish list is going to get longer. Should never have agreed to review this paint. If I go bankrupt this year, then you guys all know why. Now, Sugilite, Sugilite Genuine. So it's a mineral paint. It doesn't come off very strong, but look, there is sparkle in this. Ooh. Well, oh, looks like my eyeshadows. I've got lots of colors like these. Gorgeous, beautiful. There is some sparkle in it. I wonder if it sparkles when it's dry. I hope so. My work is very often reproduced or published on the internet, so sparkle doesn't help there, but well, it does look nice. Yeah, I think now it's beginning to dry. I still see sparkles. Yes. Right, kyanite genuine. Never heard of kyanite. It looks like Jean's blue. With a sparkle. Yes, there is a sparkle in here. Oh, beautiful. This is very beautiful. Look, it looks like a light indigo, but then with a sparkle. Oh boy, that's pretty irresistible. Oh, this is bad news for my wallet, guys. Bad news for my wallet. I love it. I absolutely love it. Yes, when it dries up. By the way, the granulation of the shadow violet is wonderful, absolutely wonderful. And then here, the sugar light and the kyanite, they really have nice sparkle. It's subtle, but it's there. It's gorgeous. Oh God, I would totally buy these. Yep. Oops. Indigo. Indigo. Oh God, wow. Promising to be very intense because it comes off, it's almost black. It came off the dot very easily. Oh wow. This is beautiful. I want to get some more water in there because it's very, very intense. Oh wow. Oh wow. This is wow. Look at that. You can make it almost black in one go. Oh wow. That's color. Yep. Gonna take some water away from here. Oh, that's beautiful. Oh, I wonder how it dries up. Let's wait and see. Mayan blue. Maya blue. Mayan blue. Mayan dark blue. I forgot to add the D. Dark. Mayan dark blue. Looks like a Prussian blue that I have in my collection. Oh, this beautiful color as well. There is a difference though with the indigo. You see, this Mayan blue, I think, has somewhat more of a greenish undertone. It's gorgeous. It's a gorgeous color. It looks like one of my Prussian blues by, I don't know by heart what brand it is, but it does look like it. It's more grayish, a little bit greenish. Beautiful. Very, very beautiful color as well. Indian Throne blue. I know Indian Throne colors. Never heard of Indian Throne. Wow, that's a deep blue. Oh, look at that. Oh boy. This is like a very deep Delft blue. It reminds me of the Delft pottery, the color. I am not doing a careful color wash, as you can see. I'm not even attempting it. As you can see, the paint is staining heavily. I do that rather on purpose in my color charts because by the stains I get these different gradations in brightness of the paint, which helps me determine what the colors are going to be about. This Indian Throne blue is well, wow, impressive. Like I wrote in one of my previous comments, there are so many people out there who just won't get the excitement you can feel as a real color geek in making color charts like these. But it's just magical what manufacturers can do with pigments. I mean, you give 10 manufacturers the same pigment and you say, now you go make that into paint, and they will all come up with a different color and with different qualities in the paint. It's just marvelous. It's very exciting to see and to find out what they did with the pigments. Sodalite Genuine. I know Sodalite. I've seen it. Oh wow. Look at that. It's even deep, it's even darker. It's grey. It's almost like it's a grey. This is slightly reminds me of Payne's grey. Only it's again like many of the mineral paints. It's not that in your face. It's a little bit more subdued, but that's okay. Lapis Lazuli Genuine. I know lapis lazuli. It comes off the paint. It comes off the dot very, very hard. I am working with quite a sturdy filament brush, and this is all I got out of there. I would never buy this, but no. I want more color. If I want to have a color as light as this, I would dilute another color to get this. It's not bright enough for me. Having said that though, I think that if you use it straight from the tube with water, it might come out a little bit more lively, a little bit more vivid, but I see it can make a beautiful sky tone perhaps, but very subdued, a little too to my liking. But still, it is kind of a nice thought, isn't it, that this is genuine ground lapis lazuli. Smalt, genuine smalt. I don't know smalt. I heard of it, I don't know what it is. Again, just like the lapis lazuli, it comes off. It doesn't come off very easily. And what I saw before is foam. Because I'm working my brush on the paint rather ferociously to get some paint onto my brush, and I see foam. Little bubbles of air. And it happened before in the cobalt violet here and in the potters pink. And when it dries up, you can still see them. Happens here too, in the genuine smalt. I don't know, maybe it's got something to do with the binders and agents that they use in the paint. I'm not sure, but it's kind of funny. It does granulate nicely though. Beautiful. I like granulation very much. Ultramarine blue. It's a classic. Comes off very easily. It's bright. It's, oh, look at that. Wow. But I like ultramarine. Very intense color. Oops. And then we go on, then we move on to French ultramarine, Outremer. I wonder, am I going to see difference in color? Yeah, there is a difference. I can see the difference. Beautiful. They're both very lively, both granulating. I can see the French ultramarine granulating heavily here at the top. Beautiful, lovely, absolutely lovely. Cobalt blue. Let's see. it's, yeah, exactly. It is semi-transparent. I felt it was a bit opaque. It feels like working with gouache, this color. And this too is granulating. I can already see it happening. Beautiful. Bright, vivid. Okay, phthalo blue, and it says between brackets GS, meaning green stroke, something like that. Greenish. Phthalo blue. Let's see. Oh wow. Oh god, I love this. Look at that. Oh, that is beautiful. It's like going on a vacation to a tropical island. It's that kind of blue which you see. Look at that. You would just jump straight in, wouldn't you? I love it. I love it. I absolutely love it. This is one of my favorites. What I'm going to do when all the Daniel Smith paints have dried up, I'm going to lay them side by side to my other color charts of other brands, and the Schminke, Horadam, and the Winsor & Newton Artists, and the Rembrandts, and the Old Holland, and I'm going to see which of the colors I like best. Well, I do have another phthalo blue, greenish. I think, if I remember correctly, it's by Schminke, Horadam, and I'm dying to see what the difference is between them. When I look at this now, this might very well become my favorite. Oh my god. Okay, and then Verdita blue, or Verdita blue, Verdita. Forgive me if I don't pronounce it well, but this is a color that's not in my color scheme. I never use this. This is a very regular light blue, granulating as well. Actually, this color looks very much like the cobalt blues that I have of other brands, of student quality brands. I'm just going to leave it to dry, because I do see it's changing now that it's drying. I think I like what I see. Well, let's move on. Phthalo blue, and here it says RS, red shade, red stroke, reddish. Speaking of depth in color, look at this. Oh my god, this is beautiful. RS. Well, I'll look it up before I do my final review of it all. Gorgeous again. Phthalo blue, it is indeed a very different color than phthalo blue GS, which is greenish. This is sort of, well, they say RS. I assume it's red something, red shade, red something else. It's gorgeous. They're both gorgeous, but they're very, very different. Prussian blue. I really wonder about this color, because I've already seen a color. Wow. That came off very easily. Oh, gorgeous. Look, and this is, you know, when you get to, it is greenish. It's got a green undertone. I'm making room to let that shine through a bit. It is granulating, it says here, and it's sort of a very much darker version of the phthalo blue greenish. But sometimes when I buy paints, indigo and Prussian blue are sometimes very close together, that you can hardly see the difference. In this case, the two colors are absolutely out of this world. I mean, the indigo is like, It's like a black kind of blue. It's beautiful, and I love that when you lay water beside it, look at the structures that you see and the colors of the flow. It's like you see this delta of rivers. It's wonderful, it's beautiful, I love it. But then when I look at the Prussian blue, it's like, oh my god, if you want to paint a mysterious night sky with lots of with golden stars in the sky, then this would be the color to choose, because it's just such a warm tone that it would be absolutely believable if you were painting a fairy tale to have these golden stars in the sky with this, because it sort of has a greenish undertone. So I would need them both. Oh, I should stop painting with these colors. They are too beautiful. Stephen, what have you done to me? Oh right, Mayan Blue Genuine. Let's see. It's another genuine color, another mineral, and well, minerals come off the dots a little bit harder. It's a beautiful color though. It's again not as intense as the others. It's not as vibrant, but it is beautiful, and it says that it granulates. You would expect certain pigments, like pigments coming from minerals and pigments coming from clay, from earth, you would expect those to granulate, well, always, or practically always, when they use the good pigments. And this one granulates as well, they say. Well, I see that the Smalt Genuine granulates pretty heavily. I like it, I like the effect, as does the Sodalite. Mayan Blue, not so much, I think. A little bit less. But it is a beautiful colour though. It's if you like painting with light tones, then this is a beautiful colour to have. Cerulean Blue. Cerulean Blue. Cerulean Blue. It's the blue of the heavens. Sky blue. As is common, it's not a very vibrant and intense color. Although one of my cerulean blues is incredibly vibrant. But I'll compare them with other brands later on. I'm not going to do that now because yesterday I spent a whole hour filming my color chart, and I see I'm already recording 28 minutes, by God. I wanted to make this a quicker video, but I'm sorry, it's not going to happen. Cerulean Blue Chrome, I think this must be. CHRM. I'm not sure if that's what it means, but it's not a very bright kind of blue. It's it does begin to granulate pretty clearly, as does the cerulean blue on top here. And it's just a much darker version of the cerulean blue. So if you dilute this one pretty heavily, you sort of might end up with that color, about-ish. Let's just see. Manganese Blue Hue. Last color I can do. It doesn't come off the dot very easily. It is an incredibly bright blue. Look at that. But it's a sturdy color. So once it dries up from the tube, then it's not easy to handle. But it's gorgeous, isn't it? It's a very bright kind of blue. Beautiful. Then on to Cobalt Teal Blue. It's very green, by the way. It doesn't come off very easily. And I have the same color by Winsor & Newton. the cobalt teal blue, and it's much more blue. This Daniel Smith is much more green, contains a lot more green. But we're moving on to the greens now, so but there is a difference in colour, and this one granulates heavily. I'll have to look into whether the other one granulates as well, I'm not sure. Then Foxite, what a name, genuine, or Fusite, let's say Fusite, genuine. And it contains sparkles, yay! Paint princesses just need a sparkle every now and then, don't they? It's gorgeous. It's a very finely ground pigment. I can see by the way it behaves when it gets wet, when it starts to flow. It's beautiful. Phthalo turquoise. Oh yeah, I was going to say that it's bound to be a very intense color. Yes, it is. It is incredibly intense. This is, well, like all phthalos. Very, very intense. Gorgeous. To die for, actually. Beautiful. I am trying to create stains of light and dark so that I can see later on when I look back how a paint looks when I apply it very thickly or much diluted. Ultramarine turquoise. Doesn't seem very much like turquoise to me. It looks really green. I don't see much blue. Ultramarine turquoise, no, I don't see much blue in this anymore. Cobalt turquoise. Doesn't come off very easily. And now that it does come off, it's not very intense. It's not a very vibrant color. It is a bit reminiscent of the cobalt in structure of the paint. It does granulate beautifully, by the way. Don't know if you can see it, but as it dries up, it granulates really quickly. It's gorgeous. So when paints don't granulate, like the indigo, you get these flames when you add water to it. You know, it's like waves or flames. When it granulates, you know, the pigment particles just sink down into the pores of your paper, and then you get these specks of dark inside the paint. Here it says turquoise genuine SB. We'll have to look up on the site what that is. SB. Turquoise genuine. So if you grind turquoise stones, is this what you would get? I would expect much more blue in it. Because turquoise stones are rather blue, aren't they? Well, I don't know if they use that kind of turquoise, of course. Right, there we go. Back to the top of the page. Amazonite genuine. Doesn't come off very easily. A very transparent color. And I'm going to take off my vest because I hit the paint with my sleeve. It's a beautiful green color. Not very vibrant, but beautiful and very finely ground again. So you get this beautiful thin layer of even paint. Blue Apatite genuine. I just hit, well, so I guess I start mixing after all then. This is gorgeous color, by the way. It's beautiful. It's a grey. It really is like Payne's grey. I don't know if they have any Payne's grey in their collection. If it's coming. Let's see. No, I don't think so. Well, oops, this is kind of a pity. Although I can see what the colour is about. Lunar Blue. What would Lunar Blue be? Oh. Very dark. Very, very, very dark. It's the darkest kind of, it's practically black. This is like a very deep grey, like, it's gorgeous though. Beautiful colour, and it granulates, which is lovely. Cascade Green, Cascade Green. What do I have to imagine Cascade Green? So you're on holiday in the tropics under the cascade and all the plants around you are this colour. A waterfall, Cascade Green. Intense enough, I wouldn't use it, but it does granulate beautifully. It's already beginning. Jadeite Genuine. Now that really does look like jade. It's a jade-like colour. Although jade can have many colours, of course, but I own a pair of jade earrings that have this colour, the light. Yep. Viridian. Oh, that comes off. Doesn't come off easily at all. This is again a colour. It's not very vibrant. But the chart says that it does granulate. I'm curious. Let's see. Yep, it's beginning to granulate already. Diopside Genuine. Oh, wow. That is a beautiful colour. Diopside. I don't know if I've ever seen diopside. Beautiful. That's a very deep and intense colour. I can see myself using that kind of green, although I don't use that many greens, but... Phthalo Green, BS. No, it's not that kind of BS. Probably blue shade. Or blue stroke, or bluish. Something like that. It's pretty gorgeous. It's a really chic kind of green. Prussian Green. I don't know if I've ever seen Prussian Green. Wow, whoops. Look at that. Oh, wow. That's beautiful. Oh, this is a really good alternative for a night sky when it's stormy. If you want to paint stormy weather, then this could be the base color to use for a night sky or even a day sky. Beautiful. And yes, it granulates. Yay! Will only add to the drama of the stormy skies. Then Terre Verte, Green Earth. A horrible color. I am not a nature painter, not landscapes, not plants, not flowers or anything. So I totally don't get this color. I mean, every self-respecting paint manufacturer's got this one in their collection. It's one that I never even look at. I don't get it. It's always very pale and very subdued, and there's not much life in there. Am I now cursing? I hope I'm not offending anyone. I don't mean it as an offense, but it's not a color that I would use. Cobalt green pale. That simply doesn't come off the dot. What's happened? They performed a joke on me and they added some glue. Oh wow, it just granulates heavily. Look at that. Do you see what's happening? As I just lay down the paint, it's beginning to granulate. Oh, love that. Cobalt green. Did you see what I was doing? Or did I accidentally move the paper away from the camera? Cobalt green. It's snooker table green, I think. You know these snooker tables, pool tables, billiard tables? They have these, the cloth on top is often this color of green. Spring green. Who doesn't like spring, especially now that it's getting, autumn is coming, and I read in the paper that the first frost is coming to us this weekend. Well, not in the area where I live, but look, happy green, happy green. Now on to permanent green. Kermit the Frog is permanent green. He will always be green. I love this green. Oh, this is a really vibrant color. Beautiful. Then phthalo yellow green. These are all happy greens. Look at that. They have made a really beautiful gradation of color. Phthalo green, phthalo yellow green. Yes, gorgeous. Oh, I love that. I love yellow greens. Then onto permanent green. Oh, the last permanent green that I did was permanent green light. This is permanent green period. Beautifully intense. It's a beautiful intense color. Then phthalo green, and it says YS in brackets behind it. Yellow shade, yellow stroke, yellowish. Yes, there is some yellowish thing in there. Pretty, pretty. Hooker's green. That's one you see every manufacturer make. It's a beautiful warm green. It's the green of grass green velvet curtains. It's very lush. It's extremely lush. Very intense. Sap green. Oh, wow. Ooh, like that as well. It's a little more golden than the Hooker's green. And it is granulating. Yay! I don't know if I have a granulating sap green already. I'm looking for this. Serpentine Genuine. Looks like a beautiful olive green. It's not very intense. Oh yeah, it is. It didn't come off very easily the first time, but now it does. And it is granulating. Not very quickly, but it is granulating. I love the colour. I love the serpentine. It's like a golden green, but we're getting to the golden green yet. Last column, chrome green oxide. Ooh, that's a weird colour. Where would you want to use this? I don't like the colour, but that's personal preference. I do like how it's granulating finely, and I do see the flames of the flow going into that. Green Appetite Genuine. Oh, that's lovely. It's a lovely colour. Oh, I love that. Oh, I love this colour. It's heavily granulating. The chrome green oxide, it says, the chart says, is granulating, but only a little bit. It's opaque, by the way. I don't really, well, maybe a bit. But the granulation here in the Green Appetite Genuine is gigantic. It's enormous. I love it. These are the things you want to see when you go and buy good paints. Rare Green Earth. So we just did Terre Verte, Green Earth, and this is Rare Green Earth. Why? Why is it rare? I noticed on the Daniel Smith website you can look up some extra information about the paints. I don't know if this is on there. As far as I know, Schmincky's got the most extensive additional information about their pigments and their paints. They're very open about them. But I'll look into that later. I first wanted to see what I have without too much, additional info. Deep Sap Green. We had the other sap green, which is here. This is deep indeed. Very vibrant. Very intense colour. Look at that. Gorgeous, isn't it? It's not granulating, but I think there's going to be a lot of flames in there. Perylene Green. We saw the perylene and the red page was always very intense colour. Wow. Perylene, just like Pyrrole, it just says intense. Look at that. Very intense. Gorgeous. This is sort of a greyish green. Got some grey undertone in it. Undersea Green. Undersea Green. Undersea, like underwater. I happen to pick seaweeds and eat them. I live very near the sea, and the funny thing about seaweeds is that they don't become they change color when you cook them, when you prepare them. Undersea Green, this is a gorgeous granulating color. Just look at this. It's got a brownish undertone and it granulates heavily. Beautiful. That would be a color I could buy. Zyosite Genuine. Never heard of it. Zyosite. It's grayish. Hardly. This is like. I know mosses that are almost not green anymore. They are grey. This is like that. Olive green, lovely. Granulating olive green. Granulating, yay. I think it's going to granulate very finely when I paint with it. Let's see. Or not. Green gold. Last two colors of this page. Green gold. Oh, that's a lovely bright green gold. Look at that. Oh, gorgeous. Oh, this is gorgeous color. Oh man. Very bright, very, very beautiful. And last and certainly not least, rich green gold. Look how lush this color is. Can already see it coming off the dot. That this is a very, very lush color. I have these same colors by Schminky. I'm going to compare them. Very curious how they behave. Okay, so I'm going to zoom out so you can see what I've done. So this is the second page of the Daniel Smith dot sampler, and this is what it looks like when painted, and it is gorgeous. It's just as gorgeous as the yellows and the reds, and beautiful, beautiful. But again, I'm going to wait how these dry up, but looking at these, I am incredibly, the Green Apatite Genuine is a color that just blows me away, because, you know, there is a green undertone and you see these specks of brown that have sunken in and that have granulated. It's a color I would use. There is fabulous, fabulous indigos, fabulous Prussian blue. The Indian Throne blue is wonderful. The Sugarlight, the Kyanite, they have the sparkle. The Shadow Violet with the granulation that's so much darker, absolutely beautiful. The Blue Apatite Green. Well, there are so many colors in here. The rich green gold, look how it dries up. I mean, I have to say, Daniel Smith, I am impressed. I've always been extremely happy with my Schminky Horror Dams, and I still will continue to be happy with them, but you certainly have quite a lot of colors in your collection that that I know I will buy as soon as I have to start replacing, or as soon as I really want to have a certain color in my collection. So right, page number 3 is going to be next. Maybe a few days, because this is taking quite a bit of time to video and to edit, but in a couple of days time you will find page number 3 and page number 4. Thank you again for watching, and see you at page number 3. Bye.